Good morning, Service Alliance community. How y'all doing today? Brother Doug.
Good morning, Zach. Happy Winter Monday, right?
Yeah, we're in record-breaking snow right now.
Really?
Yeah, November hasn't had this much snow ever.
Wow.
We had one day where it snowed for like 15 hours. I mean, it was wild. One day into the next. And then we got like another 3 to 4 inches. We're at like 18 inches in the northern part of Chicago, about 15 inches down here.
18.
And it's more snow than we had all last year. So,
Yeah, we had a dusting, had to shut the place down. We're not ready for winter yet. That was a practice run. So,
oh man. I'm not complaining. It's kind of nice. Take a little bit of a break. Especially in my line, I was tired. But here's the thing. It goes well with our topic today. I have to be very budget minded because I don't work 3 to 4 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And the reality is every business owner needs to have a budgeting mindset. A lot of us don't. So,
well, I think we can dive into that. Of course, from the perspective, as usual, you and I, from the mindset perspective. But if you're looking for the how-to tools and what not to do, you'll probably have to get that from the next guys on Tuesday.
Yes, sir. That is very true. We're going to walk you kind of through those initial steps, those mindset things, and getting a budget in place. Hey, did I see you had an anniversary here?
We did. Yeah. 20 something years. Are you supposed to keep track of those numbers? Yeah. 23.
I mean, I think we're supposed to. It's usually the wife that does that, right?
Yeah. She told me it was coming, but it was great. It was awesome. We're still happily married, Zach. And I remember when we were about 5 years married, there was a younger guy in the church. Like, I was 30 and he was like 20. And I put something on Facebook or something like that. And it said, marriage is hard work. And my friend Izzy steps in and goes, well, then naively, right? He's like, wow, man, that just means that the love isn't there because love carries it all and takes care of it all. And I thought, interesting, and then he called me. So we chatted and just told him, man, it's hard work. The things that you love the most, you have to put the work into, because there's going to be those seasons when you don't want to, or it's hard to, so we're moving into a transition of less kids, or almost no kids. So we've really got to make sure that we've got our hobbies and our interests and a desire to hang out together. Otherwise it becomes Archie Bunker and Edith, right?
Yeah. 23 years. I saw Vale's post.
23. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I just rounded around approximately on my post.
Yeah. You are almost exactly 10 years ahead of us.
Oh, great. Yeah.
10 years. 13 in November, so you're almost exactly 10 years out of us.
That's pretty cool. It's very scary how fast life starts spinning. So definitely be prepared. Be prepared to think ahead of time. Budget your time and your relationship.
Yeah, we're gonna be coming. My trainer was asking me about that, and this will lead into budgeting, I promise. He's like, how long have you guys been married? I'm like, 13 years. She goes, how do you guys do it? I'm like, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of fighting and ignoring each other, and then coming back and, making sure that you actually process through what's going on. And, I said, watch out for your wife to start looking at sourdough recipes, because once that happens, next thing you know, you're planning a barn dominium.
Okay. All right. That's chapter 3 of your book.
Yeah, apparently. It's going to be coming along with chapter 2 of writing building a new business.
That's it.
And so how is that going to happen, right? I'm going to have to be very conscientious of how I budget for the new business. I'm going to have to be very conscientious of how I budget for building our future home, and conscientious of budgeting time with
That's right.
wife and the kiddo. So yeah, I better get that budget mindset we're talking about down right now.
That's it. Well, I'll lead us into prayer. I don't think it's a bad thing to share, but if anyone out there, especially in your neck of the woods, knows James Dubier, he had sort of a heart issue and had to go in for surgery. And I think things are going well and he's recovering. So
Yeah, he's a great guy. I refer a lot of my former customers to him,
yeah,
because he does come down into my area, and I have nothing but raving reviews, right? Like that is such a great feeling when you can pass it off to someone like James and just hear rave reviews about them coming back. So
that
first
just
for James.
that just happened last week. But again, the godly timing of things. I mean, his passion and heart in his business is about budgeting and knowing the cost of doing business, and he's taught probably in the thousands of how to know your numbers so that you can budget and be successful. So we'll pray for James as well. Lord God, we thank you for this Monday. We thank you for this past weekend. We pray that we are charged and rested. We pray that our minds and our actions have been surrounded in humble living, seeking you with all our heart, mind, and soul, and finding out the path you have laid for us, Lord God. We lift up James to you and pray for full recovery. We pray that his family comes around his side and supports him. And if there's any issues, Lord, may they all seek you with all their heart in prayer. We look forward to maybe even seeing James at ASTI coming up, Lord. We pray for that so that we can show him our love and appreciation. Lord God, help us take care of our customers and our employees today, and help guide us through your will. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Tennis balls on the walker. Rob is like 5 years older than me, and this dude's always trying to make me sound like the senior of the two of us.
Between him and Saul, I don't know who's worse.
They're both way older than me, so.
So budgeting isn't optional.
No. Well, it is.
Yeah, you have the option to fail.
I mean, I did it for a long time that way, but it's what's your purpose of existence if you don't know your numbers and know why you're doing what you're doing? Are you doing it just to see if the bank account's topped off high enough so that your gut says you're okay, or what? So looking forward to talking about budgeting here today.
Yeah, so most owners fail not because of bad service, but they fail because they don't have a financial plan. They just spend whatever comes through that door. And
Hey,
it's not necessarily a good thing, right? Wow.
Hey, Rob, I'll take it. To see you at ASTI is going to be great, my friend.
Oh, goodness. I can't let these two distract me today. So budgeting is mindset before math, right? There is some math. There is some, stuff that you have to figure out, but you got to have that mindset first. You got to have the discipline, the clarity, and the non-negotiables, to stick by a budget. And then when discipline fails, or when, you're like, ooh, shiny, that's when the plan actually comes into play. But it's got to start with that mindset of, I want to see my company grow. I want to be able to retire. I want to, whatever your goals are that we talked about last month, it happens because of a budget. And so you got to have that mindset right first. And that's where we're starting with today.
I even just wonder, can somebody run a business or have an income and have plenty of money in the bank but be the same person that doesn't have a plan for their life. I don't even know if it's possible, chicken or the egg thing, because you got to know your why. You got to know what you're trying to accomplish and why you're doing it, and the vehicle to get you there. One of them is budgeting, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, so a budget is a monthly decision-making system. It's not necessarily a spreadsheet. It helps you make wise decisions. It helps you have your mindset in the right place. It helps you to check, are we heading towards or away from what we set as our goals? A budget is a road marker as well as that decision making tool. It's kind of dual purpose.
Takes the surprise out.
It does.
I mean, how many of us have ever been caught off guard that we thought we were doing better than we were? And that means that you're not tracking. But what do you track if you don't have a budget? So exactly. It all goes hand in hand.
Exactly. So it kind of tells you where your money's going to be going and what it's going to be doing before the month even begins, right? And you're going to do it based on your revenue goals, call volume, pricing, your cost of doing business, right? It's based on that. Your fixed expenses, your variable expenses, right? Fuel is a variable expense that goes up and down like a stinking roller coaster, depending on who wants to wave what flag what day. Profit targets, so what you're shooting for. And in honor of James, real companies play in margin, not markup. So make sure your profits are set in a margin, not in a markup. And then you have cash reserves and an emergency buffer. If you don't have those built into your budget, you're already planning to fail. You got to have those put into your budget as part of the plan, as the mindset of bad things will happen. Am I ready for them, or as ready as I can be? Right. It's a shift. It's a mindset shift. It's about prioritizing, not cutting, right? It's about prioritizing what's important to you and to your business. So,
yeah, the bookends there, right? Is on one end is that the cash flow. You can't really dream and build until you have that. So, but we all have the opportunity typically to go out and generate revenue. So you can do that for the purpose of building these buckets that you want to have. If you have a great idea, you've got to come up with a plan of what you think it's going to cost and build that into your budget. And again, don't start it till you have the money to spend on it, right?
So what kept you from budgeting? What was your mental roadblock?
Complete ignorance to it. Okay, so maybe we were in a good situation. I think sometimes people go into the baptism of fire of a baptism of budgeting because they're broke.
Yep.
Or they maxed up massive amounts of credit card debt and loans. And then there's this intervention moment. For Action Appliance, when I took it over, it had cash. So I don't know, is that worse? Because I ran it almost 10 years just with the mindset of let's just do the best we can. Looking left, looking right, going, oh, I can save us a little money there. Oh, I just fixed that. That saved us a little money. Wasn't even tracking how much money we were saving. It just using gut feel, like win. That was a win. That was a win. But there was no direction. We're literally aimlessly going around in a circle. So there's nothing great that can come from that for sure.
For sure.
Because we are not static. We are always moving. I'm getting older. If you have a business, how many years and how many times do we not want to think about it? right? We just
Yeah.
start to feel slightly overwhelmed, and we're like, oh, I'm going to put my head in the sand. Of course, I have another 62 years left of running calls myself, right? We're going to ignore that because the unknown is overwhelming. So guess what? The budget removes a lot of the unknown.
Yeah. Yeah. The number one reason why most people don't do a budget and why businesses stay stuck, avoidance.
Oh, for
Just
sure.
eh, it's not important right now.
Yeah.
I'm too busy, whatever. You make up whatever excuse. And do it once I have help. It's overwhelming. I don't know where to start. All these things, right?
Oh, don't forget embarrassment that you
Yeah.
don't know how, and to ask for help may seem like a weakness, or you'd be ashamed. Like, what do you mean you own a business that's thriving and you don't even know how to count your numbers? You could feel ashamed. It's
Yeah.
it's terrible to let that feed into your life.
It's okay to not know where to start. It's okay to not have a budget if you're unsure. What's
Mhm.
not okay is continuing in that.
That's
Ask
right.
for help. There's anyone who has a budget that you approach for help is not going to shame you because you don't have budget.
Right.
They might call you crazy if you decide to keep going without a budget, but if once you're asking for help on getting a budget going, they're not going to shame you. They're
Yeah.
they're not going to, oh, no, it's all right, cool. Let's do this thing. Let's make this happen for you. Because you're making decisions anyway, you might as well make them with some data,
Mm.
right? And a budget is the way
Yeah.
to do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it do you feel like it was more chaos when you were just running, like, "Oh, hey, I fixed
No,
this," didn't have budget? Was it a little more chaotic?
no, man. I'm gonna thank God it it came to me that I needed to focus on this before it got to that. But I have plenty of friends that I know that have Jay before was when I was just a tech. He's got his own story of almost losing the business and not knowing his numbers, and it comes up almost every week in our meetings.
Yeah.
It's there in the back of his mind. It's made him, well, it makes him stronger, right? To be aware. But I do always caution him and anyone else who now might have a little PTSD and be afraid to move forward. Use it as the powerful tool that it is. What went wrong? What did we not do properly?
Yeah.
If you fix what you didn't do properly, don't forget it. But just remember,
Right.
that you've repaired it, and we're in a new place. We are not the same people that we were before. And will you fail again? Potentially. Depends how brave and bold you are. This year, man, we took on a big project, and it's kind of fallen flat.
Yeah.
But we knew it all year long, and we were just trying different things. So this year, thanks to budgeting and weekly checking our numbers, I can tell you, offline, and if anyone wants to talk to me about it, that what we were trying to achieve, that what we did didn't necessarily work perfectly well. And I've learned a lot, but we didn't lose that much money.
Yeah.
It's the money we invested into trying the idea. Imagine that's what the budget can do.
Right.
You can put aside opportunity to try something, and make your company great.
Yeah, and you can't really do that if you don't have, well, I mean, you can, but you're going to bleed so much cash that eventually you'll be out of business.
That's right.
So having a budget really fixes that. I think the fear base mindset, and God, I love Jay. But the fear-based mindset, to me, because I've done it, right? I've been there right alongside the way Jay's mind was working. fear base is exhausting, dude.
It
Like
is.
that, it burned me out. It burned me out more than anything. And having a budget, yeah, there's still stuff that's going to happen, but I think there's less fear. At least for me, right? I can make those educated decisions because of a budget, and I can know, much like your example, well, I only lost what I invested in it. I didn't lose anything else. So, that's a win. I learned something. Now I can move on and try it a different way or try something totally different. It's just not as exhausting to do it that way.
But
It's
well, Rob's point, right? That he made there. No budget plus people pleaser plus ADHD equals empty bank account quickly. The trick here is to not make it personal. You know what I mean? Like in that statement that I see through Rob there, pleasing can make it personal. If you want to take care of customers and people, that's great. But in the end, if the math doesn't math,
yep.
you have to make a change, and it's not personal,
Yep.
But when you add that, emotional, crazy roller coaster of I'm sorry, Rob, that you and Zach are both ADHD people. That makes things personal, because I got to believe you're bouncing off the walls, feeling all kinds of feelings, and feelings lead you to making this become something personal, and it's not,
Yep. Friends, those of you with ADHD or any neurospicy fun stuff, Rob and I, we still have to do this podcast sometime, what not to do in business. But really, if you're on that neurospicy side of things, a budget is your best friend. Because it, number one, it removes decision fatigue, right? Your budget's already kind of decided what you're going to do, so it kind of removes the should I. It's already laid out what you should and shouldn't do. So it's kind of those guardrails for you. And then, like Doug said, it takes the personal out of it. Like, I don't have the money to just throw on these dumb things because I want to please people. I'm investing in my team. I'm investing in my company. I'm investing in my future, and I have to stick to this. It takes the personal out of it. It is a business decision at that point. So a budget is your friend if you're
there's a
spicy.
saying that Jay says quite often, especially when we're about to make a financial decision, right? Or change. He'll say, I don't like going to the casino. I'd rather gamble my money, on the business, go and give it to the casino. And my son just had a travel volleyball tournament at the casino. And thanks to David Costanzo and George Dempsey, they've shown me how to play roulette. So that was about 30 minutes of $200 loss. And I just got up and walked away, and I was like, yeah, there was no fun in that for me.
Yeah.
It felt personal to lose $200, and you've got to be able to go there with a strategy and a plan, which is to have fun and maybe win something, right? Same thing goes with your business. It can't be personal. If you do your homework and you lay out your strategic plan and you align it with your budget, and you're being safe but risky, as long as you're not spending the money that you need to pay your insurance bills and your electric bill, if you're spending money that you put aside for the idea, it's freaking exciting. And we already, Zach, you and I, we've read so many books where very successful people have blown millions and millions of dollars trying things until they find something that hits.
Yeah.
So we've not done that, but it still felt a little slightly this year like the casino. There was a similar, so it just reminds me that we can improve on our strategic planning and make sure that Jay and I can get on the same page of success, celebrating the wins and recognizing the losses, but reset and go, what's next? What are we going to try now? Right.
Yep. So how do we get there? What are the non-negotiables for budgeting, right? Um, Cost of doing business, man.
Mhm.
James would pound that into your head, and I've pounded that into people's heads. You have to know the real cost of doing business. You have to know all those things.
Yep.
You got to know your labor costs. You got to know your part costs. You got to know what your fuel, your trucks, all that stuff, repair is costing you. You have to know what your insurance is costing you, your subscriptions, your overhead. So electricity, phones, all that stuff, right? Your cost of doing business drives your pricing. If you don't know your cost of doing business, you can't price things accordingly, and your budget's blown before you
Well,
even
if
start.
you've ever looked in your bank account and thought there should be more money in there right now, I've been busting my hump. We've been doing some great numbers, and you feel like the numbers, the bank account should be higher.
Yep.
That's just telling you that you don't know your numbers, and you need to look at those things, because I can tell you right now, if you were to go for the first time and dive into your P&L and do a comparison year over year, and all of a sudden you go, whoa, vehicle maintenance this year was
Yep.
up 20%, but that makes sense because our fleet's a little bit older than it was a couple. And all of a sudden, when you look at it, you go, you say the same thing. If you said it without looking at your P&L, like, there should be more money in the bank. So you might go, you might have to raise my rates. And now you're nervous and you're fearful. And you
Yep.
think about the customers that are going to say no. And you thinking about the opportunity that you might lose. But after you look at the P&L and you go, son of a, the insurance is up. They're charging me more for this.
Mhm.
This has gone up. This has gone up. I need to raise my rates because I'm not supposed to pay the difference. This
Yep.
is a this carries over to our customers,
Yep.
right? And so with that budget, you recognize hands down, and there's less fear to no fear to say the math says I've got to raise my service fee $25.
Yep.
Let's do it because I want to stay in business. I want to
Yep.
be in business.
Yeah. I love it. It's so true. And again, it takes the personal out of it. It's real numbers. Numbers don't lie. And so it allows you that freedom to make data driven decisions because you understand where everything's at and what's happening.
And Zach, take it down the road however far you got to go, to the
Yeah.
point that when you're checking your numbers like that on a regular basis, and it's 2000 whatever 42, and you're trending and you see year over the last couple of years profits are down, you're now there, you have an analysis to say it looks like our industry has ultimately changed.
Yep.
We are moving into a different direction. It's not like it was in the 80s, 90s, or early 2000s.
Yep.
There's a change out there. You can sense the weather pattern because you know your numbers, and you could be an early adopter on pivoting.
Yep.
Because what are you supposed to do? Like, just curl up and die? Supposed to go back to college and become something else? No, you take that business and those customers you have and you pivot. You
Yep.
think about what else you need to do. So with the budget and knowing your numbers, you'll be one of those early people saying, I think it's time in my area to expand or to do something different. But you won't know unless you're checking your budget out, right?
Yep. Yep. Treat profit as a bill you pay first. Profit first analysis. That's kind of non-negotiable for budgeting. Take that profit and just automatically allocate it, because and I experienced this. I watched it from the owner that I bought the company from, and then I followed in that same dumb pattern. Owners who say whatever's left always end up broke.
Mm.
Yeah, you gotta allocate that profit right away. Shoot
Well,
that profit target
that's right.
and start setting it aside.
People pleaser, right? Start
Yeah.
trying to keep everybody happy, and you'll be the one that's broke in the end, right?
Profit's not a dirty word. Profit allows you the ability to make wise decisions and be generous with your money. But you can only do that if you have profit. And so if you set aside that profit ahead of time, um, and you are making money,
Mhm.
the decisions you make won't be based in fear. They won't be based in lack. They will be based in abundance. And you will be able to make very wise decisions for your business, for your customers, for your team.
Mhm.
But if you are not paying yourself appropriately, every single decision, and I know this from experience, every single decision will be based in fear,
Mhm.
and you will actually become the thing you're trying not to become.
That's right.
So create that profit first, create that mindset first so that you can be generous down the road.
So what? It's the air in the oxygen mask that drops down. You're right. That's the guidelines of the airlines. Take care of yourself so you can help others. It's the air. The air is your profit. You have to be profitable to stay in business. And I think that sometimes when this gets brought up and this area is discussed, people start to think about, well, I don't want to rip off the old ladies. There's those single moms that I want to take care of when I have the opportunity, and I'm not going to charge them and make a ton of profit off of them. You can't be generous if you don't put the humanity, the thing that you love about taking care of single parents, single moms. The only way you do it is by putting money aside so that you can be generous, because it's a dead end if
Yep.
just blindly give, plan to give.
Those of you that watch us, I'm willing to bet more of you, your heart is in the right place and you care about people. You're not like some of the soulless corporations out there that are really only care about their shareholders and their own pocketbooks, but you still need profit.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to have profit because if you don't, you cannot take care of others. You can't be generous to your church. You can't be generous to those single moms. You can't be generous to those grandmas who don't have be, the trap that you fall in is if you aren't profitable, you begin to make these decisions that cost your company money, and then you don't have the money to be generous, right? And it just becomes this vicious, nasty cycle. Get your profit right, get your margins right. Stop
Mm-hmm.
playing in markup, start playing in margins, and you'll be able to take care of a ton of people.
Yeah. You're not a nonprofit. You are a for-profit business, and
I
so
I look at my friend's company, Tom Howard has multiple companies, and his friend Tommy Mello, right?
Mhm.
You can be damn sure those guys are putting profit first,
Mhm. Yeah,
which means they can be generous down the road.
right.
They can only do that because they put that profit first. Cash flow is greater than revenue. Revenue is vanity. Seeing that bank account look like a really big number, that's just imaginary. That cash flow is survival. That
Mm.
cash flow means when a truck breaks down or when a truck completely craps out and you have to buy a new one, you have the money to buy a new one,
Yeah.
right? So you got to focus on what's coming in and what's going out. And you can only do that if you have a budget, and not just your total sales and not just what the bank account
It,
says.
it's hard to be disciplined
Yeah.
without a budget, right? It's hard to know where. I guess it's probably. I'm not sure what this is really like, but exercise and health, without some sort of plan,
Yep.
without some sort of schedule of making sure you're ticking all the boxes. Just trying your best is just a futile effort because your feelings and the world around us will rob us of that discipline. So budget creates discipline, and you brought up things that are necessities,
Yep.
like having the money for the van breakdown so that you can continue to make revenue is just a necessity. But how about something fun? So like let's say you're a single operator owner and you want to, you have the spirit or the heart for high school graduates to get into a trade going off to college. What about a scholarship? I mean, what if you gave a $10,000 scholarship to your local high school? So right now, without a budget, do you know if you can afford to give $10,000? But with the budget, you can actually add the line item, give back in love to your local high school student and add $5 to every single job you go on. At the end of the year, that's 10 grand. So you've allocated some of that money, like you said, for profit, but you can also allocate it for fun to give back to people. It's just simply plugging in the numbers and making it work. And you got to stay disciplined on the other things. If there's a surprise and your insurance renews and it goes up 20%, guess what? You need to raise your rates as soon as that renewal effect goes into play, and make sure that you're not losing money there. And
here's the thing that you can assume: parts are going to go up, fuel's going to go up, insurance is going to go up. It's all going to go up, right? Imagine building that into your budget. Imagine, you're working for property managers and they're paying net 60 instead of net 30 when they should be paying net 30. That's a conversation you got to have with them eventually. But all of a sudden they start paying net 60.
Yeah.
Well, if you have it built into your budget, if you have that cash flow built into your budget, you can still operate. It doesn't handicap you. You're still free to make the moves that you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can only do that if you budget. That's the only way it happens.
That's right.
Yes. Saul, it may not be your fault that parts are going up, but there is death, taxes, and parts prices raising are the only certainties in life. Sorry, buddy. May not be your fault, but it's a reality.
I mean, to get into the weeds of Saul's point there, whatever way you determine your pricing for your customer, I believe your process has to include what is the cost of the part today that I'm buying for this customer. Yep. For those of us who have a price memorized and you quickly go past the home screen on the Marcone page that says Frigidaire pricing is going up, and it has to, it always will. Yep. But that's what's great about Marcone is that they let you know ahead of time. They're giving you the warning so that you can plan for it. But every time you quote a customer, you should be doing it in real time of the actual part that you're buying for them. I can tell you right there, that's thousands of dollars you are giving away if you think what an idler pulley and roller costs, based on a year and a half ago.
Imagine having your budget so dialed in that when you see the Frigidaire and Whirlpool parts are going up 20%, that you already add that 20% in now.
You could do that. Yeah, you can go back. Well, it depends if you have the systems, but I could go back and look at Frigidaire and Whirlpool last month and see what we paid, and make the changes. Now, obviously,
you could slowly, raise the price. If it's going up 20% next month, it's 10% more expensive for all the parts. And the following month, then it's 20% more expensive because you're in anticipation and you're slowly making your customers aware of these pricing increases. It's a gradual shift, right? It's a mindset thing. You're gradually shifting their mindset to things are a little more expensive. It's okay. It's not a huge deal. And you're gradually increasing that. You can do that. Heck, if 6 months, because I know Marcone is really good about putting that up pretty well ahead of time, you could do it 5% a month.
Sure.
You could budget that 5% a month that those parts are going to increase every single month. And then by the time the parts are actually costing you more, you've now built that into the pricing and the customers are aware and it's already in their mindset.
Yeah.
So
And if you don't have a CRM that tracks those things, if you don't have the mechanisms to make sure you know your numbers in real time, and then you go and start to look up pricing for some of that stuff and go, I can't afford that. You can by doing what you just sort of suggested, Zach. Start today before you buy the CRM subscription. Start now.
Yep.
So if it's going to cost me $400 a month to have whatever that is, House Call Pro, blah blah, whatever program it is, you figure out, divide that into how many calls you do, and then you just raise your rates now. Right. And so if your cash flow is not great, don't raise your rates and then go broke getting it. But you need to build your business. The building block, an important block, is that, and QuickBooks or an accountant. Same. You can afford it if you start charging for it now.
That's the next point. Every dollar has a dream. Every dollar has a job. Right? There's no miscellaneous categories. Every expense has a purpose and an ROI. And it's emotionless decision making. They're not caring about your feelings, right? The numbers aren't caring about your feelings. It's just, this is what reality is. And reality is, you're $400, $800, $600 a month for a CRM, whatever it is, whoever you're using. And you're able to account for that, and you're able to break it out, like Doug said, and charge your rates accordingly so that you can get to the point where you can have the CRM and the QuickBooks and all the things to do the things, right? You're giving money a job. And guess what? Money goes to people who manage it well. So if you're managing that money well, if you're guiding that money well, there's going to be a heck of a lot more ready to line up behind it that's going to flow your way because you're managing it well.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a biblical principle, right? I read a post last night talking about the widow with the jars.
Yeah.
The oil didn't stop because of lack of faith.
That's right.
The oil stopped because of lack of containers. There wasn't anything else to put the oil in. So can you imagine planning ahead and having all these containers ready? Guess what? Every single one of those containers is going to fill up. So if your dream is only this big, that's all the containers that are going to fill. That's all the money that's going to come your way. But if your dream is, just huge,
sure,
every single one of those containers is going to fill. You can only do that with a budget. It's the only way.
Does seem magical when that happens, but
it seems magical, but it's just a natural law that happens.
Yeah, I can think of one, Zach. We have a cancellation report that we've been running for 15 years weekly. So, summertime, the cancellation rate's higher because we're booking out too far, right? Winter time, it's lower. We have, we hired a bunch of technicians and the cancellation rate dropped, right? And so now we're going into the summer of 25, and I'm like, can I use more technicians? I don't know. What's the limit of opportunity calling in? So I look at the cancellation report and I'm like, it's like 2%. So that means that everybody's calling in is getting on the schedule. I don't think we could use a couple more techs. But anyway, I still hire a couple more techs. Well, guess what? The van and the tech continued to fill with oil. And and all of a sudden we were having like record-breaking months. And the cancellation rate, which I thought was the number that I could trust to determine, do we grow or are we maxed out? It just seems like that the CSRs and the dispatcher, we've got 8 of them, collectively saw an opportunity, and someone was on the phone with the customer. And, maybe it's not about cancellations. Maybe it's just like, I do have someone available for you right now or today. And it got popped on, and there it is, an extra 30 calls a day. And it's just like, wow. So your numbers will tell you one thing, but watch the reality behind it too.
The cool part is, the budget kind of dictates what you can do to an extent, but it's alive. You need to adjust it weekly.
Yeah.
The red flags are going to show up. If all of a sudden that cancellation rate spikes, then maybe it isn't time to hire. I mean, like if it's all of a sudden spike, but if your cancellation rate is staying static,
Yeah.
take that risk. Hire that 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah.
Add more jars so that you can fill more oil, right? And it's going to happen. Your team is going to get behind that because they're able to get behind it, right? You're going to stay ahead of the problems instead of just reacting to them, but you need to be flexible.
Yeah.
ServiceAllianceGroup.com, become an all access member. Join us December 20th. We are going over everything budgeting. I love budgeting. I hate budgeting, but I love budgeting, right? We're doing that on the 20th. A bunch of other business owners are going to be in there. I'm going to be leading the class on how to build a budget, how we're going to do this the right way, all the things that go into that. So come join us, man. Come join us. It's great time. Sorry for that plug, but not sorry. I love the budgeting thing.
Well, it's your podcast, so I think you can plug it.
I can pretty much do what I want. You know, so what are the mistakes that we make, right? As we're wrapping up, what are the mistakes that we make? We guess instead of track, right? We're going on that gut feeling. We're going on that fictional story. Your past 90 days are going to tell the truth, and that's how you begin to build the budget. You got to have been tracking to know then how to build a budget. So if you aren't tracking, start tracking now. Today, start tracking so that you can begin to build that budget, right? We set unrealistic goals. I want to have 30 texts tomorrow. That's an unrealistic goal, right? I want to have 2 texts tomorrow. That might be a little more realistic, right? Doug just shared about that. So don't set these unrealistic goals. Make them stretch goals, but don't make them impossible on yourself, because that's just setting you up for failure.
Right.
Ignoring seasonality. If you've been in this industry any length of time, even appliance repair is seasonal. Our northern states, our southern states, their seasons are opposite of each other. Northern states, we're kind of going into the dead season. Right ahead of Christmas time, after everyone has their ovens fixed from Thanksgiving and preparing for Christmas, we're going to go into a really slow time where people are waiting for tax refunds and they're just going to buy new equipment. And so we'll start picking up in the summer again. It's kind of the northern thing. Our southern states, they're cranking up because all the snowbirds are going south and they haven't messed with that washing machine since they were down in Florida last year.
That's right.
So our southern states, you're cranking up right now, right? So pay attention to that seasonality, and you'll only know that if you're tracking. You're not matching your spending to phases of business. When you're starting, you're trying to survive, you're trying to capture a market. When you're operating, right, when you're in that middle kind of phase, you have consistency and some profitability. And then when you're like Doug, you're ready to scale, you got investments and systems. And your spending has to match each of those phases. If you're trying to scale when you're just starting, you're already set up for failure.
Right.
You have no consistency yet. You have no profitability yet. You're not ready to scale. You're not ready. So you got to make sure that those things match. And the thing that drives every accountant, every tax professional, everyone nuts: mixing your personal and business finances. Do not commingle. It creates chaos. Pay yourself consistently. Pay yourself some profit quarterly, but don't mix them. Don't mix the credit cards. Don't mix the bank accounts. Business is business. Personal is personal. You have to do it. You have to do it. So those are some of the budgeting mistakes. Did you make any other mistakes, Doug?
Yeah, but I'm not going to share them today. No, that's it. I mean, I'm still working through it, still learning. Like I said, we made a mistake this year, and if we had, I figured out what we would need to do differently next time. So when we try something where we're investing into something bigger, new, and different, we've improved. We're working on improving our tracking of it in real time, so that it's not 2-3 months later that we catch it. So that's outside of the budget part of it, but still, just internal stuff. I love it. So the trick here, really, in my opinion, is let's not make it personal.
Yeah.
And I love what you just said, right? Pay yourself well enough as an employee of your business. And what is the goals for the business? See, that's different than your pay. Mm-hmm. What do you want from your business in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Whatever that is, start working towards it now. But in the meantime, don't say, I'll take care of myself then, because there's no guarantees. Not a one guarantee. So pay yourself well now, charge the right price, know your numbers, but you got to have an idea where you're heading. And don't make it personal, man. Enjoy it. Enjoy trying something and watching it work and succeed.
I mean, that's the mindset thing, right? You got to take the personal out of it. You can have personal goals, you can have personal dreams, you can have personal, all that stuff. That's cool. But when it comes to business, you have to have business goals. Mm-hmm. You have to have business growth. You have to separate the two. And I think that's the toughest mindset. And like you said, and I mean, I'm just going to keep hitting it because James hit it and I hit it and I've lived it, right? You have to pay yourself appropriately, because if you don't pay yourself appropriately, then you start to make bad decisions. And I know this, and Rob knows this. You start to make bad decisions, and then you start commingling stuff, and then everything's chaos, and then you're getting in trouble with tax man, right? You don't want any of that. You don't. Just take the personal out of it, set your business goals, set your personal goals, and figure out how to pay yourself appropriately from the business.
Yeah.
So that your personal goals can be met and your business goals can be met.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Saul.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Pretty scary that Rob can be right at times. Again, his formula there of people pleasing. If your plan for your business is to just close it when your retirement is met, then that's the plan. It's not personal, right? Your customers, your employees you might have. If you're planning to sell the business, it's not personal. If that you're stepping away and that you're letting it go, and certainly if you plan ahead far enough, maybe you've just hired a tech that could eventually buy it from you over time. But you can't do any of that unless you start thinking about it right now. Where 10 years from now, am I still going to be in the truck? Am I still going to be doing whatever I'm doing? Will this company be around or not? Is this industry going to be around or not? Those are sort of open-ended questions, but I think we know the answers. We just have to go and put them on paper and begin to follow it like a constellation.
So this is a great question. You can use ADP, sure. It's a great payroll service. I personally use Gusto. And I know we have some friends that use Gusto. It's a little more affordable for the point that I'm at. Gusto is a great payroll service, but ADP, it's a great way to do it. QuickBooks Pay, whatever you're going to do, use some type of payroll service to make sure that you're accounting for things correctly.
Yeah.
It's better than trying to manage it yourself. You don't have to worry about compliance when you're using a service. So unless you have someone in-house that can handle payroll and insurance and HR and compliance and all those things, just use a stinking payroll service. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Save yourself the headache. So yeah, ADP, Gusto. There's a ton of other ones.
Wait a minute. What if I can't afford ADP?
You need to raise your rates.
Raise your rates. Divided by 12. Raise your rates starting now.
Yep.
You have the cash to start it right now? No. Start it right now. What are the three things that you know you need that you are way behind on and you don't have any money to invest into?
Yep.
Just figure out what the price is. Raise your rates right now. It's December 8th. You've got 3 weeks.
Yep.
That you can start charging like you have ADP, like you have a CRM, like House Call Pro or whatever it is.
Yep.
You can start charging now, and then you put it in the bank. You put it aside, and now you've got it. Now you've got it going.
You have the startup ready to go when it's time to turn the switch on whatever services.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. Love it. Love it.
All right.
So I'll plug it again, servicealliancegroup.com. Become an all-access member. We discuss different monthly topics. This month, December 20th, we are doing our annual budget planning. So if you don't even know where to start, if you have no clue, servicealliancegroup.com. Become all-access member. We have a ton of stuff behind that paywall for you guys. I think the most valuable is the masterminds. So come join us December 20th. I'm looking forward to sharing with each and every one of you. Man, I love hearing this. I love hearing this. Go check out the website, man. Ton of information on there. Glad to have you here today. So
have a great week, Zach. Bye, guys.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in to the Morning Grind podcast by Service Alliance Group. Subscribe to our channel and make sure you visit our website at servicealliancegroup.com for appliance repair business resources.